Good evening, everyone. Good to have you with us once again for another broadcast of Emo Nightly News. And as you know it, every moment online. In tonight's news headlines, Cultural Division honors Dominican cultural icons during Domfesta outreach. Dominica and India sign key agreements during ministers' visit. Grenada MP strengthens U.S. partnerships during Washington visit. Barbados intensifies hurricane preparedness ahead of 2026 season. Antigua and Barbuda highlights major national developments and climate initiatives. The United Workers' Party addressed the nation in a press conference earlier today. And President Donald Trump administration escalates pressure on Cuba with Raul Castro indictment. Details of these stories and more coming up next. Stay with us.
Tico, that's $800. Cash or card?
When cash is low, Tico is still ready.
Always card, Chalo. Would you like a copy of the receipt?
No, Chalo. NBD already sent me the alert and I'll see it on Mo Banking later. That is it. From card to farm. Power your business with the NBD Small Business Credit Card. Your partner, your bank.
Welcome back. I'm Rick Francis, and this is a news broadcast for the 21st of May, 2026. In local news this evening, the Cultural Division today hosted the Team Culture Community Outreach as part of the Domfesta 2026 celebrations, paying tribute to cultural practitioners residing at senior care homes across Dominica for their outstanding contributions to preserving and promoting the island's cultural heritage. The outreach began at the Dominica Infirmary in Roseau, where recognitions were presented to master craftsman Mr. Gregnon Julian and traditional artisan Miss Annette Nicholas for their lifelong dedication to Dominican craft and creativity. At the Divine Victory Elderly Care Home in Goodwill, longtime Thunderbirds Carnival Band member Mr. Bernard Julian was honored for his enduring contribution to carnival culture and masquerade traditions. The outreach then moved to Farks in Mount Daniel, where former Calypso and Road March King, Mr. Norman N.C. Cyril, was celebrated for his powerful impact on Dominican Calypso music through timeless songs such as Humble Servant, Marry the Girl Charlie, and Watch Your Bottom. Miss Dorothy D.D. Charles was also recognized for her role in preserving Creole culture through dance and Creole wear as a former Madame Wabduyet. Following a breakfast break, the delegation visited the Mao Senior Citizens Home, where steel pan stalwart Mr. Lennox Alexander, better known as Chapo, was honored for his mentorship and commitment to the Mao steel pan movement. At the New Age Residential Care Home in Granville, ballet dancer Mr. M.C. Kerr-Lequant was recognized for preserving traditional dance through his involvement with the Collio Cultural Group. Photographer Mr. Oliver Joseph was also honored for documenting and preserving Dominica's cultural heritage through photography. The Team Culture Community Outreach concluded with a cultural community engagement segment at Healing Hands in Anse-de-May. And now an advisory from EmoNews. Motorists and pedestrians are advised to exercise extreme caution along the back road heading up to Goodwill following a partial cliff collapse in the area yesterday. Drivers are urged to reduce speed, remain alert, and use extra care when passing through, as debris and unstable conditions may pose a danger. Pedestrians are also being asked to avoid the affected section where possible and to stay vigilant while traveling along the roadway. Further updates will be provided as more information becomes available. Domlec says it's proud to be recognized among the Caribbean's top-performing utilities at the inaugural 2026 CARILEC Awards for Excellence held during the CARILEC CEO's Conference in Barbados. Domlec says the recognition reflects the dedication and hard work of its staff and stakeholders as the company continues to advance Dominica's energy sector. General Manager Dwayne Senac has also shared remarks on the achievement, highlighting the company's commitment to innovation, safety, renewable energy, and reliable service to customers.
To all our valued customers and stakeholders, I am pleased to share that at the ongoing CARILEC CEO's Conference, Domlec has been recognized among the region's top-performing utilities in several key areas. We received recognition for our leadership in energy transition, highlighting the significant progress Dominica is making toward a cleaner and more sustainable energy future. Domlec was also recognized for strong performance in both safety and financial performance. These awards reflect the dedication, professionalism, and hard work of our employees, as well as the continued support and patience of our customers as we modernize and strengthen the electricity system. While we are proud of this regional recognition, we remain focused on the work ahead, improving reliability, increasing renewable energy integration, enhancing safety, and delivering greater value to the people of Dominica. On behalf of the Board of Directors, management, and staff of Domlec, thank you for your continued trust and support. Together, we are building a stronger and more sustainable energy future for Dominica.
The government of Dominica last week signed 2 memoranda of understanding with the government of the Republic of India, one on pharmacopoeia cooperation and another for the rehabilitation of the Chateau to Pierre Charles Boulevard Link Road in Grand Bay under the Indian Grant Assistance Program for the implementation of a quick impact project in Dominica. The MOUs were signed during the official visit of Honorable Sri Pabitra Margarita, Minister of State for the External Affairs of India. During his visit, Minister Margarita toured ongoing development projects in Granby, including the Center Basketball Court, the Farm Access Road in Makaton, and the construction of a walkway in Fort Seja. India is also funded road rehabilitation works on the Cuba-Kalom feeder road and in Girodel. Honorable Margarita also visited the Kainago territory during his recent high-level mission to Dominica, highlighting India's partnership with UNDP and the government of Dominica in supporting climate resilience and sustainable development initiatives. The visit showcased progress on the strengthening community resilience within the Kainago Territory project, funded through the India-UN Development Partnership Fund and implemented by UNDP in collaboration with the government of Dominica and the Kainago Council. During the visit, the delegation toured climate resilience, food security, and environmental restoration projects, including the Forestry Propagation Center in Port Cassé, where seedlings are being prepared for restoration activities. At the Kainago Baruna Ote, the delegation participated in cultural activities, a tree planting ceremony, and the symbolic distribution of backyard gardening kits to vulnerable households aimed at improving food security and promoting climate-smart agriculture. Officials from India, UNDP, the government of Dominica, and the Kainago Council reaffirmed their commitment to supporting sustainable livelihoods, indigenous development, and community resilience within the Kainago territory. Also in local news, political leader of the United Workers' Party, UWP, Dr. Thompson Fountain, addressed the nation during a press conference where he outlined the party's plans and spoke on several issues affecting Dominica. Dr. Fontaine discussed the EWP's vision and priorities moving forward while raising concerns over matters impacting the country and its citizens.
We are having this press conference this morning in the context of a deteriorating economy in Dominica, increasing hardships for the Dominican people, especially right now with the rising costs of fuel and electricity. We clearly have a crumbling road network, a lingering partial ban for travel to the United States, a failing health system, and quite frankly, a government that has lost its way with respect to governance of this country and its growing inability to effect any positive change. As a political party that is poised to contest the next election and to form the next government of this country, it is our responsibility to remind the Dominican public of our plans to once again put money into the pockets of the Dominican people, our brothers and sisters. That we will do through our 10 pillars to shared prosperity that is focused on revitalizing the agricultural sector, developing a very strong and profitable water industry, attracting foreign direct investments that can set up factories and other manufacturing activity in order to create jobs and more jobs for our young people in particular. In addition, we will do away with the extremely high taxes. The increase in the minimum wage, of course, we have already said to move that to $12 an hour at the very least. We'll pursue our renewable energy development, build, once again, resilient infrastructure to help us through those changing climate times. We'll improve our social equity and the inclusion of our people in a transparent government with a zero corruption policy.
Deputy political leader Ronald Charles also addressed the media, providing updates on legal matters currently involving the United Workers' Party.
The last order was made on the 27th of January, 2026. And the trial was held on the 23rd of February, 2026. And the matter is now awaiting final judgment from the court. So what that means basically is very soon a decision will be taken as it relates to the issue before the court for the CBI matter. So we expect, we'll be waiting. I'm sure that whichever side, and I say it like that, is successful, the General Dominica will know. And I'm sure that I believe that we will be successful, I'm sure. Okay, as it relates to the other matters, Unico Moulon versus the Attorney General, as you know, that this matter has been adjourned, and that matter will be, we have not yet gotten a response from the court in terms of a date of this matter, and soon we will get that. One of the matters that have hit the road in 2025, that is the matter with the protesters. And you're quite aware, a number of protesters were arrested on the 19th of March 2025. That matter is before the magistrate court and has been ongoing. There are various, there are other attorneys that represent the various protesters. We would say, let's say Bernard Monroe et al. Dr. Fontaine is in it, myself is in it. Joshua Francis, alongside Mr. Gildon Richard, is also representing some of the protesters in this matter. What I have to say about this is that, as you may be aware, Mr. Leta, Geoffrey Leta, made an application on behalf of the protesters in reference to putting a stay on the proceeding. And what that means in local parlance is just hold on still until the High Court heard the judicial review application that was made by the claimants, that is us, in reference to whether or not the Riot Act is constitutional. And there are other factors in which will be taken into consideration. That matter in itself is ongoing, and we are awaiting that hearing.
The press conference formed part of the party's continued efforts to keep the public informed on its political agenda and ongoing developments surrounding the organization. The need for workers in Dominica to be unionized was a common theme echoed by speakers at the 13th Biennial Delegates Conference of the Dominica Public Service Union, DPSU. General Secretary of the DPSU, Thomas Letang, began the charge when he gave introductory remarks.
There are just too many locations where employees are not unionized. It can only be to their disadvantage. Support and involvement of all to bring about success. There are just too many passive, inactive, and non-members, the latter which I refer to, or I prefer to refer to as parasites, who are not contributing as they should in ensuring that there is positive outcomes emanating from the union's effort.
President of the DPSU, Steve Joseph, continued in the same vein during his address.
I hasten to say, however, that more must be done to organize every worker in both the private and public sector. We have our work to do, unions, all of us, to ensure that we organize workers. Too many workers are not unionized, and so we have to do our part.
The minister with responsibility for labor has also addressed the conference, highlighting his government's commitment to workers in Dominica.
The success of the negotiations with the government over the periods 2021 to 24 and 25 to 27, these were all very welcome, where we have a total of 8% cumulative increases over that period. And as he said, we will be getting another 3% effective the 1st of July. I think he also forgot to mention that recently the Prime Minister stated that we would be moving every NEP worker in the government in public service that has been there for 5 years into the establishment. So we are making serious strides. We are paying attention to, as far as possible, improving the conditions, the lives of our workers in the country. And I am very much in tune with that. I am very open to working with the unions to help improve the working conditions, improve everything as it relates to our workers, ensuring that they are getting the benefits of their labor.
And now another remarkable achievement from a Dominican. Dr. Terian Olivache Bino of Point Michel has successfully earned a doctorate in educational leadership, with a concentration in organizational justice, equity, and inclusion from Western Illinois University. Her dissertation focused on the experiences of immigrant students of color and their sense of belonging within educational spaces. Dr. Bino says her mission is to help create learning environments where all students feel supported, valued, and included. A proud past student of St. Luke's School, Convent High School, and Dominica State College, Dr. Bino previously taught at Dominica Grammar School and Isaiah Thomas Secondary School before continuing her teaching career in Texas and Massachusetts. Speaking to EmoNews, Dr. Bino described the achievement as both elating and humbling, adding that the journey was deeply personal and purpose-driven. EmoNews extends heartfelt congratulations to Dr. Bino on this remarkable academic achievement and wishes her continued success. The board, management, and staff of the Discover Dominica Authority, DDA, extend congratulations to Mr. Gregoire Nassif on his election as President-elect of the Caribbean Hotel and Tourism Association, becoming the first Dominican living in Dominica to serve in this role. Mr. Nassif's election marks a significant achievement for Dominica and reflects his long-standing contribution to the regional hospitality industry. Through his leadership and advocacy for sustainable, high-value tourism development, he has helped elevate Dominica's presence and reputation across the region. His election comes at a time when Dominica continues to gain international recognition and increased demand as a destination for nature, wellness, and adventure tourism.
On behalf of the board, management, and staff of the Discover Dominica Authority, I extend sincere congratulations to Mr. Gregor Nassif on his historic election as President-elect of the Caribbean Hotel and Tourism Association, becoming the first Dominican living in Dominica to serve in this role. This is a proud moment for Dominica and reflects the growing influence of Dominican leadership within the Caribbean tourism industry. Through his leadership in hospitality and sustainable tourism development, Mr. Nassif has helped elevate Dominica's presence and the reputation across the region. We are confident that he will serve the Caribbean tourism industry with distinction, and we wish him every success as he prepares to take on his regional leadership position later this year.
And that's all for local news this evening. Stay tuned for regional news coming up next.
Across our Caribbean, we're going digital, working smarter and living safer online.
In Dominica, we don't fall for fake prices. We check before we click.
In Grenada, we verify before we share, keeping our hard-earned money safe from hackers.
In St. Lucia, we report cyberbullying, protecting our children and each other.
In St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we report scams fast, protecting our neighbors and our communities.
Together, we're building a cyber-smart Caribbean, keeping our people and our data safe, standing up to scams and cybercrime. We stay connected, but always alert. This message is brought to you by the Caribbean Digital Transformation Project. Stay smart, stay safe. Think CARD TP. Visit cardtpconnect.org.
Security. The delegation also met with the U.S. Department of Energy, UGT Renewables, and Tropical Shipping to explore investment opportunities and improve trade and transportation links. Security discussions at the U.S. National Security Council focused on disaster response, border protection, and regional stability in the Eastern Caribbean. Prior to the Washington meetings, Prime Minister Mitchell engaged with the Grenadian diaspora in New York and attended several community and recognition events. The Prime Minister and his delegation returned to Grenada on Wednesday, May 20, 2026. And now taking a look at Barbados. Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley says the government is intensifying national preparations ahead of the 2026 Atlantic hurricane season, which officially begins on June 1. Mottley revealed that meetings are currently underway with emergency, security, health, education, utility, transport, telecommunications, tourism, agriculture, community, and private sector partners as part of the country's preparedness efforts. She said the level of preparation is deliberate and necessary to protect the people, communities, and infrastructure of Barbados. The Prime Minister urged citizens to also play their part by checking emergency supplies, securing important documents, identifying nearby shelters, clearing surroundings, and assisting vulnerable individuals, including the elderly and persons with disabilities. Mottley noted that changing climate patterns continue to impact hurricane seasons and stressed the importance of remaining vigilant and relying only on official updates. The Prime Minister stated, "Preparedness saves lives. Let's all do our part." And now for Antigua and Barbuda. This week highlighted several major national developments, including new Senate and parliamentary appointments, climate resilience initiatives, and regional engagements. Jamilia Kawan was reappointed as an independent senator, while Tiffany Strand Peters and Malaka Parker received appointments as government and opposition senators, respectively. Joel Rain was also appointed Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Finance. The country successfully hosted the Caribbean Travel Marketplace 44 from May 12 to 15, becoming the first nation to host the region's largest tourism forum twice. The government also launched a US $12.3 million Early Warnings for All initiative in partnership with UNDP to strengthen disaster preparedness and modernize weather forecasting systems. Prime Minister Gaston Brown participated in several high-level engagements in New York focused on climate resilience, renewable energy, and sustainable development financing ahead of Antigua and Barbados hosting CHOGM 2026. Meanwhile, the ECCB held its 8th meeting of Attorneys General and Financial Secretaries in Antigua and Barbuda to discuss regional financial legislation and regulatory reforms. Cabinet also approved the establishment of a national safe haven for women and children and endorsed a policy initiative to make Spanish the country's official second language through reforms within the education system. And now for international news. An American doctor who was exposed to Ebola has been admitted to Prague's Bulovka University Hospital in the Czech Republic for preventative observation under strict safety protocols. According to the Czech Ministry of Health, the doctor is being monitored as a precautionary measure following possible exposure to the deadly virus. Health officials say strict biosecurity procedures are in place at the hospital to prevent any potential spread of the disease. The development comes as health authorities continue to monitor Ebola outbreaks in parts of Africa, particularly in the Democratic Republic of Congo and Uganda, where officials have raised concerns over increasing cases and challenges in containing the virus. Experts warn that increased global travel and population movement could heighten the risk of international exposure, prompting countries to strengthen screening and emergency response measures. And finally, tensions between the United States and Cuba have intensified after the Trump administration announced criminal charges against former Cuban President Raul Castro. According to reports, the 94-year-old former leader has been indicted in connection with the 1996 shooting down of 2 civilian aircraft operated by the Miami-based humanitarian group Brothers to the Rescue, which resulted in the deaths of 4 people, including U.S. citizens. The indictment was unveiled in Miami as the Trump administration continues to increase political and economic pressure on Cuba amid the island's ongoing energy and economic crisis. Reports also indicate that the U.S. Nimitz Carrier Strike Group has entered the Caribbean as part of increased U.S. military presence in the region. Although President Trump has denied plans for military intervention in Cuba, Cuban officials have condemned the charges as politically motivated, while U.S. officials insist the move is aimed at securing accountability and increasing pressure on the Cuban government. And that's all for international news this evening. Stay tuned for the sports segment coming up next.
New game in town. Get ready to match 5 and you can win 10K. Let's go. Play with just $2. Match 5 numbers from 1 to 29 to win. Draws every Wednesday and Saturday at 9 p.m. It's easy, fun, and local. Match 5, your local jackpot game. Dominican National Lottery.
And welcome to the sports segment. St. Mary's Academy secured another victory in the sports division secondary schools under 15 boys basketball championship, defeating the Northeast Comprehensive School 72-47. Leading the way for SMA were Carter James with 16 points and Kelank Charles with 12 points. For NECS, Jari Prince scored a game-high 25 points, while J. Samuel added 16 points in the losing effort. In the NBA, League MVP Shai Gilgeous-Alexander scored 30 points as the Oklahoma City Thunder defeated the San Antonio Spurs 122-113 on Wednesday night to level the Western Conference Finals at 1-1. Alex Caruso added 17 points off the bench for Oklahoma City, while Chet Holmgren contributed 13 points. The Thunder bench outscored San Antonio's reserves 57-25 in the victory. Stephen Castle led the Spurs with 25 points, while Devin Vassell added 22. Victor Wembanyama finished with 21 points, 17 rebounds, 6 assists, and 4 blocks. The Thunder also focused heavily on limited Wembanyama after his dominant 41-point, 24-rebound performance in Game 1. Both teams suffered injury setbacks during the game. Oklahoma City lost Jalen Williams to hamstring tightness, while San Antonio's Dylan Harper exited with a right leg injury. The Spurs were already without All-Star guard De'Aaron Fox due to ankle soreness. Game 3 of the Western Conference Finals will be played Friday in San Antonio. On the local basketball scene, the Detroit Blazers delivered a dominant performance to defeat Police Sports Club 86-58 in DABA Basketball League action. Despite the loss, Police Sports Club saw a strong outing from Daniel Ormond, who led his team with 26 points, while Nathan Sebastian added 13 points. For the Blazers, Zach Bastian led all scorers with an outstanding 35-point performance. Maxwell Birmingham contributed 18 points, while Sergi Joseph also added to the scoring effort. The victory strengthens the Blazers' campaign as excitement continues in the DABA Basketball League. And finally, in sports, 17 primary schools across St. Vincent and the Grenadines will compete in the 2026 Inter-Primary Schools Developmental Cricket Competition beginning May 27. The tournament, organized by the Division of Sports and Physical Activities and the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Cricket Association, will feature modified cricket rules focused on developing grassroots skills. Schools are divided into 4 zones with matches set for London, Stubbs, Bel-Air and Buckerment Bay from May 27 to June 2. The top 2 teams from each zone will move on to the knockout stage. Organizers say the event will officially close the division's 2026 school sports calendar. And that's all for the sports segment this evening. Stay tuned for the weather report coming up next. And this concludes tonight's news broadcast for the 21st of May, 2026. I'm your presenter, Rick Francis, and on behalf of the entire newscast, we say thank you for viewing. This is Emo Nightly News, every moment online. Have a good night.